Hey guys, before this video begins, I just want to let you guys know that there's a bit of an oopsie that happens in this video. Around 9 minutes, that time, there's a big cut that happens, and I'm not sure what happened with it. Something happened with my footage. But basically, all you guys missed was me introducing the 70 Charger. Anyway, enjoy the video. Alright, everyone, we're back. I'm going to adjust the camera just slightly. There we go. We are back with another update. I know in my last video, um, that video's a little bit controversial. Me, going into, my, fursuit head that I have. I do plan on using that, when I get to doing more book reviews and everything. And other things, my last thing I did was a live stream and the unboxing, and the response that I got to the unboxing, a lot of people love it, and some people dislike it. As seen by the likes and dislikes, there's 3 dislikes on there, and I believe someone messaged me about it, saying that they don't like me anymore because of that. That's cool. But anyway, let's get back to the model building. This is the M12 FAV, aka the Warthog. And I always say this, but don't sleep on snap kits, because this kit is awesome. It's a snap together kit, but Revell really took their time with this, and they really did a good job. It's a big vehicle, and it's actually pretty close to 1/24th scale. It's a little bit shy of it, but it's actually pretty good. I like it. It's actually bigger than a tumbler. I actually noticed that the other day. Put the tumbler next to it. It is still bigger. The M12 is a pretty freaking cool car. Well, not really much of a car. It's actually more of a truck. This thing is insane. And, this is the redesign of the Warthog. I remember the OG Warthog. If you guys have played Halo 1 through Halo 3, you know the old Bungie Warthog. It had like this weird pillar here. The front end and everything didn't have any bull bars. It didn't have a front axle. It's kind of like what the Tumbler had, but reversed, if that makes any sense. Instead of the tires being in, they were out, but there was no axle in the front of them, in the front of the car. 343 Studios, when they redesigned the Warthog, they added that front axle, which I'm okay with. It just helps people recreate it more in real life and everything. People say that the redesign of the Warthog is awful. This is the redesign of the Warthog. I'm actually fine with it. I know the old Warthog is cool and everything, and I love the old Warthog. I played Halo 1 and Halo 2. I never finished Halo 3. And I genuinely loved the old Warthog. It was awesome. But this redesign, I'm fine with it. If you're asking me which one would you rather have, that's like asking me if I prefer socks on my left or right foot, because these are both awesome. I really love the redesign of the Warthog. They made it much more interesting. The Warthog in the original games didn't really have too much going on. It's just a simple military vehicle. But now, 343, even though, their decisions with the Halo series has been questionable, I actually really like this. They did a really good job making it a more interesting looking vehicle. I love the bull bars because I'm a huge fan of off-road trucks and everything. I really love bull bars on trucks. The little bull bar here, the steps and everything. I think it looks really cool. I really like the redesign. It's still the same shape and everything. It's still the same vehicle, but it just has a new look to it, and it looks much better. Even the back, they even made the back more interesting. They added the jerry cans with the water in it. That's so cool. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Oh shit, I didn't do taillights. Okay, so this model's not done yet, because I just realized you're supposed to have taillights back here. They go there and there. Well, that's an issue. But what did I do to this model? Okay, I'm getting off track here. So I'm talking about the freaking Warthog, and I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. This kit is completely box stock, but what I did is I scratched it up, used some silver paint everywhere, and I used black wash of not black wash. It's a it is, yeah. It's Citadel Knoll oil, I think. I can't pronounce it. And I just did it all over the vehicle. It really brought out a lot of the details. Again, this thing is super detailed and really cool. So I say it all the time. Don't hate on snap kits. And I used a type of paint, which you can see on the fenders here. I'll try to get the camera to focus on it. It's not really that good on this end. Let me show you on this. It's a type of Citadel paint, and it has sand mixed into it. And what that does is that it gives the dirt the mud rather, a very chunky look to it. And I just did a lot of that underneath of it. You can kind of see it under the fender there, and some on the tire as well, because the tire is actually a very close color to the paint, so it actually looks like the whole tire is covered in it. And that really gave a cool look that a lot of mud has been kicked up under this thing. I do still have the figures, although I didn't want to use them, mostly because I like to have my models where it looks like they're just sitting, like they're just kind of sitting idly. That's why I'm not too big on having models looking like they're like driving, or that's why I've never really done a model with like smoke behind it, like it's doing a burnout or something like that. I'm just never really been a fan of that. I mean, it's cool for the people that do it. I do like it, but just not for me. There is a little bit of an oopsie on the interior. The shifter, this is the one part of the kit I could actually nitpick, because this is actually a really cool kit. The shifter is mounted or molded like that. There's a big piece there, which I'm trying to show. This piece should not be going down like that. Where they put the red dot, it should just be that handle sticking out, because that's supposed to be the shifter. And if it's molded like that, that means you can't move the shifter at all. So that's just a little bit of an oopsie, but I could let that slide for how awesome this model kit is. Did a little bit of dirt on the windows. I imagine not too much dirt gets up here because how freaking big these fenders are. But yeah, this does have a full working suspension, by the way. The camera keeps going blurry. I'm sorry about that. The way that they do it in the model kit, it's simple but effective, and it works. I love it. I was actually writing a story that involved the Warthog. So my Sergal character goes to the universe of Ash and Kira, the universe that they're in, and winds up getting himself in deep shit with the main bad guy, Lord Hades, the bad dude. Finds another Sergal character who I'm still developing, and she is pretty awesome. She has like a similar ability to him where he can 3D print any vehicle he wants and send it to him in like real time and everything. So he has the Warthog made. She has let me just move this puppy. In one of the scenes that I'm writing, they're attacking his cult, and she like slides this forward, jumps out of the Batmobile, and the thing turns into the Bat missile and flies forward and takes out a bunch of enemy vehicles by exploding. So she jumps in the Warthog with him. She's just like, "You owe me another Keaton mobile." And he's like, "Okay, I'll get you another one." It's one of those little, like, more over-the-top and tongue-in-cheek stories, I guess. I think that this kit turned out pretty cool. Got the rust. I cut open the vinyl roof. I think the rust back here turned out really cool. I actually really like that effect. That is Citadel Typhus Corrosion mixed with AK Interactive Rust Streaks. So you get that really cool and really rough effect of that rust. Just such a cool looking vehicle. Same mud paint that I used on the Warthog. The chassis is actually yellow. It's just very hard to tell. Got a lot of mud and grass kicked up in there. Got the rust. Again, that same textured paint. This kit comes with open headers, but I'm just like, there's no way this car is going to be a post-apocalyptic car with open headers. I have to put some mufflers on there at least. It's short, but it's probably a hell of a lot better than driving with open headers. Jesus Christ, you don't want to lose your hearing while you're out there, patrolling or whatever. Got 2 seats. It's got the battery in the back seat there. It's really hard to see, but it is in there. Let me turn on the light. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it. Does have 2 seats, really rusty roll cage in there. Got the rain marks and rust streaks down the side. 69 front end. Different color hood. It's big bull bar. Mercedes-Benz wheels. These are off of a Mercedes-Benz diecast, I believe. I don't know, they're just sitting in my parts bucket. More rust streaks. Just a little bit of an homage to the muscle car from Half-Life 2 with the stripe on the back of it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this build. It's got such a weird kind of angle going on because the car's so raked in the back here. The front end is like that, so it kind of goes like that. It's just a really weird look to this car, but I really like it. It's so different. But I'm pretty happy with it. Another thing I did was finish up the Dystopian Daytona. So I'm actually pretty happy with this one as well. This one might be actually one of my favorites now. This was the eBay Daytona Dodge Charger that, well, as the name implies, I found it on eBay. It was a half-completed kit. The guy didn't finish it. It got parted out. Had no suspension parts other than the leaf springs in the back of it. And the guy's like, you can do whatever you want with it. Part it out, finish it, do whatever the hell you want. My original plan with this car was to finish it. But then, as I started to look more at it, I was just like, you know what? It looks like it's got some issues here. Some scratches. The paint is a little bit worn on some areas. Let me just go ahead and make it a full post-apocalyptic car. And, I mean, I'm really happy with it. So what did I do to it? Well, since last update, it now has a motorcycle on the back. Which is actually, it's not fully tied to the wing. That's probably just to secure it just a little bit more. It has a mount on there that it sits on. Maybe it pegs into place or something. Or they could like lock it in. These straps, I imagine, are just mostly so this doesn't sway back and forth while they're driving. Because it's tied around the handlebar there. And maybe to secure it just a little bit more. I mean, that's, it's bolted to the car. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, that's the little AMT dirt bike, which I think is pretty cool. That brown for the seat is actually the rust brown, the light brown that me and Oxide both use when we're weathering models. If you ever watched his weathering video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that weird bright brown rust color. That's actually the color that I used for that. So, shouts out to him for introducing me to that paint. So, yeah. I'm really, really happy with it. I painted the engine and gas tank silver and used AK Interactive rust streaks and a black wash on that. Same with the engine. And I really like it. I think it gives the vehicle a much cooler look to it. I guess the idea behind this was that it's kind of like a scout car, I guess. which I would totally drive. I mean, these things get great gas mileage. I mean, come on. Totally driving this thing. Um, I was working on the backstory of it, that it's not a real Daytona. It is a real big block car, but it's not an actual Daytona. Um, According to the VIN number and everything, it's a green 440 68 Charger. So it's a fake, but it's a damn good fake. That's what is the lore of this vehicle, if you really care about it. I haven't really developed it that much, so why did I make it like a scout kind of vehicle? Well, a majority of reasons. One, I wanted to do an homage to the Dauntless Daytona. I think that's how you say that word. And also, I watched a lot of Day of the Dead, that George Romero movie, and I was always fascinated with the world above, where people are hiding underground. And I'm just like, if you had to build a car to go out onto the surface where all the zombies are, what would that car look like? If you ever seen the beginning of that movie where like the upside, the surface world is completely desolate. There's nothing but zombies walking around. Everyone's below ground hiding from the zombies. What would the car look like if, you had to go out to go scavenge food or anything? You know, what would that car be? So my idea, well, just have a vehicle that looks like it's meant for any kind of situation, and that's what this is. That's why it's got so much stuff on top of it. Again, taking a lot of inspirations from the Dauntless Daytona, and just I guess that was my main inspiration. Well, those two things. That machine gun on the side of it, I guess maybe to shoot through a crowd or something. I don't know. My idea with it was zombies, but it could really be for any kind of story, I guess. I don't know. I just love this car. I'm so glad that I bought it and I finished it, because this model was never going to get finished. It was just going to sit in its box, and probably, I don't know if anyone else would have bought it but me. But I'm a sucker for big Mopars. Of course, I have to buy it. And I think it was fairly cheap too. So you know what? It turned out good in the end. So yeah, those are my updates, and I'll see you guys next time.